You started eating less, hoping your belly would finally shrink this year. Every meal became smaller, cleaner, and carefully controlled with growing discipline daily. Yet your lower belly stayed exactly the same stubborn size anyway. Sometimes your belly even looked slightly larger, despite stricter dieting efforts recently. You checked calories repeatedly, searching for hidden mistakes inside your meals nervously. Nothing explained why fat refused, leaving your lower abdominal area completely unchanged. The truth is surprising and deeply frustrating for disciplined people everywhere today. Eating less can actually stop belly fat from burning efficiently over time. Your body does not see dieting the same way you do. Your body sees reduced food intake as a possible survival threat approaching slowly. When food suddenly decreases, the brain activates protective emergency systems automatically inside. Those systems prioritize survival instead of appearance or weight goals completely. Survival mode changes how your body uses incoming energy resources daily. Instead of burning fat freely, the body begins conserving fuel carefully. This shift happens quietly before you ever notice physical changes appearing externally. The first signal often appears as persistent lower belly fat storage patterns. Your body protects energy reserves close to vital internal organs automatically. Lower belly fat becomes the safest emergency storage location, biologically speaking. This storage pattern is controlled by powerful hormonal survival signals internally. The most important signal involved is your stress hormone cortisol rising. Cortisol increases whenever the brain senses uncertainty about available future food supplies. Dieting creates uncertainty even when food actually remains plentiful around you. Your brain cannot understand modern intentional calorie restriction logically at all. It reacts as if famine conditions might begin unexpectedly soon nearby. Cortisol rises slowly, preparing your body to conserve stored energy resources carefully. Higher cortisol signals fat cells to resist releasing stored energy supplies strongly. Fat burning becomes slower, even while calories remain consistently reduced each day. You feel confused because effort increases while results remain frustratingly limited. The problem is biological signaling rather than discipline or personal motivation failures entirely. Hormones determine whether fat leaves storage or remains locked securely inside tissues. Eating less changes hormone signals before changing body weight noticeably for weeks. Many people unknowingly trigger this protective metabolic slowdown repeatedly through strict dieting cycles. Each dieting attempt teaches the body to defend fat reserves aggressively. Your metabolism gradually adapts to survive with less incoming energy overall daily. Energy expenditure decreases quietly without obvious warning signs appearing first externally. You move slightly less, even without realizing subtle behavioral changes happening daily. Muscles burn fewer calories, performing the same simple movements over time gradually. Body temperature may drop slightly during prolonged calorie restriction phases unnoticed usually. Cold hands sometimes appear during extended dieting periods unexpectedly for many individuals. These subtle changes indicate metabolism slowing down to conserve essential energy supplies internally. Slower metabolism reduces the rate of fat burning significantly overall. Especially stubborn fat stored deep inside the lower abdomen region remains protected. This protected fat is commonly called visceral fat by researchers worldwide. Visceral fat responds strongly to stress and survival signals within the body. Dieting combined with stress creates powerful fat retention conditions internally together. Stress hormones and reduced calories reinforce each other continuously during dieting periods. The result is persistent lower belly fat despite consistent dieting efforts applied. Many disciplined people blame themselves unnecessarily when this predictable pattern appears repeatedly. But the real cause exists within hormonal survival responses inside the body. Understanding this mechanism explains why belly fat refuses burning under restriction conditions. Cortisol does not work alone when your body enters protective survival mode. Another hormone called insulin becomes extremely important during calorie restriction periods. Insulin controls whether stored fat can be released into circulation for energy. When insulin stays elevated, fat cells remain locked tightly shut for protection. Even small insulin increases can prevent effective belly fat burning processes entirely. Dieting often makes insulin responses stronger than before meals unexpectedly. Your body becomes more efficient at storing limited incoming nutrients quickly. This efficiency once helped humans survive unpredictable food shortages long ago. Today, it makes modern dieting results slower and more frustrating overall. The lower belly becomes especially sensitive to insulin signals over time. Fat cells there respond faster than fat cells elsewhere inside the body. This creates the impression that only your belly refuses shrinking normally. Arms and face may become leaner, while belly size barely changes. That uneven change confuses many people trying to lose weight consistently. They believe stubborn belly fat means something unusual is happening internally. In reality, this pattern follows predictable hormonal survival biology mechanisms exactly. Lower belly fat protects organs during times of uncertainty or scarcity conditions. Your body considers organ protection more important than visual appearance goals. This protective instinct operates automatically without conscious control from you. Eating less strengthens signals telling the body resources might disappear soon. Those signals make fat release less likely during normal daily activities. Fat cells reduce their willingness to release stored energy molecules outward. Instead, they hold energy tightly for possible emergencies ahead unexpectedly. This creates the feeling that fat burning suddenly stopped working entirely. Exercise may feel harder while results become slower and less visible. Workouts burn calories, but hormonal signals still limit fat release internally. Your body compensates by reducing energy use after exercise sessions quietly. You feel more tired and move less during remaining hours afterward. Reduced movement lowers daily calorie expenditure more than expected normally. This compensation effect makes dieting appear less effective overall eventually. Hunger hormones also rise when calories remain restricted for extended periods. Increased hunger pushes the brain to focus constantly on food availability. Food thoughts become stronger during long dieting phases, repeatedly experienced. Stress increases further when hunger and restriction combine together daily. Higher stress pushes cortisol upward and reinforces fat storage signals continuously. The cycle becomes self-reinforcing without obvious warning signs initially appearing. Eating less leads to stress, which leads to slower fat burning rates. Slower fat burning encourages even stricter dieting attempts afterward, usually. Stricter dieting strengthens survival signals inside your hormonal system further. Each cycle makes belly fat slightly more resistant over time gradually. This explains why repeated dieting often becomes progressively harder eventually. The body remembers previous shortages and prepares earlier for survival conditions. Fat storage becomes easier, while fat release becomes increasingly difficult internally. Lower belly fat reflects this protective adaptation more clearly than other areas. Many people interpret this as permanent metabolic damage occurring inside themselves. But metabolism usually remains flexible when proper signals return again consistently. The key is changing signals, rather than restricting calories further unnecessarily. More restriction usually strengthens the protective hormonal response inside the body. Less restriction often allows fat-burning signals to gradually recover again. Understanding this principle changes how effective fat loss strategies should work. The first step is convincing your body that food remains consistently available daily. Stable eating patterns reduce uncertainty, signals inside your brain significantly over time. Regular meals reassure your body that starvation is not approaching soon unexpectedly. Consistency lowers cortisol levels and improves fat-burning conditions gradually overall. Extreme restriction keeps survival alarms activated inside your hormonal system continuously. Moderate eating helps switch the body back toward normal metabolic operation gradually. Protein becomes especially important during recovery from prolonged calorie restriction phases. Protein supports muscle maintenance while reducing hunger hormone fluctuations throughout the day. Stronger muscles improve glucose handling and reduce insulin spikes after meals naturally. Lower insulin allows stored belly fat to become available for energy usage. Walking regularly signals safety and stability to your nervous system consistently. Gentle walking reduces stress hormones without increasing physical recovery demands excessively. Walking after meals improves blood sugar control and insulin response efficiency noticeably. Improved insulin sensitivity allows fat cells to release stored energy gradually again. Daily movement prevents metabolic slowdown caused by prolonged inactivity periods indoors. Small, consistent walks outperform extreme workouts during stressful dieting conditions significantly. Extreme workouts sometimes increase cortisol and slow fat burning unexpectedly further. Gentle consistency produces more reliable hormonal improvements over longer periods overall. Sleep quality strongly influences whether fat-burning signals remain active overnight. Deep sleep lowers cortisol and restores hormonal balance across multiple systems naturally. Poor sleep increases hunger hormones and strengthens fat storage signals simultaneously. Consistent sleep schedules help regulate metabolic rhythms, controlling energy balance efficiently. Darkness before bedtime improves melatonin release and recovery processes significantly overnight. Morning sunlight stabilizes circadian rhythms and lowers stress hormone fluctuations naturally. Stable rhythms help metabolism return toward efficient fat-burning patterns again gradually. Stress reduction improves hormonal conditions necessary for releasing stored belly fat consistently. Slow breathing exercises calm the nervous system and reduce cortisol production directly. Relaxed breathing signals safety and reduces emergency metabolic responses internally throughout the body. Lower stress allows metabolism to operate normally without defensive energy conservation behaviors. Over time, the body becomes willing to release stored energy reserves again. Lower belly fat gradually softens as hormonal conditions become more stable internally. Waist measurements often improve before noticeable scale changes appear first externally. Visible progress returns once hormonal signals support fat burning again properly. Patience becomes essential while the body relearns normal energy balance patterns. Quick results usually indicate temporary changes rather than stable metabolic improvements long-term. Sustainable fat loss depends on consistent signals rather than extreme short interventions. Your body responds best when safety and stability remain predictable every day. Stable routines gradually replace defensive hormonal responses built during restriction periods previously. Metabolism recovers when survival alarms stop activating repeatedly throughout daily routines. Recovery allows stored fat to become usable energy once again naturally. This process explains why eating less sometimes prevents belly fat reduction entirely. Hormones determine whether calories become energy or remain locked inside fat cells. Understanding hormones transforms frustration into practical, long-term fat loss strategies effectively. Belly fat resistance usually reflects protective biology rather than personal failure completely. The solution begins with restoring trust between your body and food availability. Consistent habits rebuild that trust slowly over weeks and months steadily. Once trust returns, the body releases excess fat more willingly again. Lower belly fat often responds last, but still responds eventually with consistency. Real fat loss begins when survival mode finally turns off completely inside. And that change starts when your body stops fearing food shortages ahead.